Hi everybody, thanks for watching. I thought I would put together a little video here to show you guys all the stuff I bring with me when I go out on a photo shoot. I try to keep the gear really simple. I think that the less equipment you bring with you, the more you can concentrate on the job at hand, whatever it is you're photographing. So I would just say that at the outset, when you're buying camera gear, even though there's a lot of hype and a lot of talk about getting cameras with the most megapixels and with lots and lots of different features, I think the most important thing is to get a camera that you like to use, you know how to handle, and it feels good when you're photographing with it. Most all the digital cameras made these days are of incredibly high quality as far as the imagery goes, the quality of the digital photos. So with that said, I'll open up the bag and show you what I bring along with me when I go out on a photo shoot. I have two digital cameras in here. The main one I use is this one here. It's a Canon EOS, and I keep the motor drive separate here when they're packed because they pack up real small, and then when I get to where I'm going, I just screw them together like this and they're ready to go. One thing you should keep in mind is always keep charged batteries in your camera, whether they go right into your motor drive or whether you just keep them in the handle grip. It's one thing, just always remember to charge your batteries and have a fresh set of freshly charged batteries in your case. You never know when you're going to need them. These here go right here. You just plug them into your charger at night and you're good to go the next day. Also, you want to always have a card and just keep it right there in the slot. It should be a no-brainer, but a lot of times people forget after they've downloaded the pictures onto their computer, they leave the chip in the card reader, and when they really need to get a shot, it's not in the camera. So here's the camera. This lens is a 24-105 f4. I like it. It's real flexible because you can shoot it as a telephoto or as a wide angle. The flash units that I use are Canon flashes, which I really like. They fit really well with this camera and they work in TTL mode. And I also use some other off-brand. This is called a Yongnuo flash. They also do a great job and they have a few features that my Canon flash doesn't have. So I'll show you a little bit about the best way to use flash with your camera if you have to. And before I get into that, the first thing you should know is flash does not always make your pictures better, and some of the best photographers never use flash, or if they do, it's only under the most extreme situations where they simply can't get enough light to take a picture. But a really good solution is to have a bracket like this, and the reason you need a bracket is because flash mounted on the top of your camera like this always results in really bad flat lighting. So basically, if you want your pictures to look good, never set your flash up like this. You want to get the flash off the camera. And the way you can do that is by using a cord like this TTL cord. TTL just means through the lens. The flash is actually controlled by the computer in the camera. So when you take a picture, the flash illumination arrives at your subject, it exposes them properly, and then the camera shuts off the flash when just enough light has arrived. So the way I configure this is I put it onto this bracket like this. Then the bracket attaches to the camera. Like that. And then this connects right into the hot shoe. So what we've accomplished is flash not attached to the top, it's off to the side, and your pictures will look a lot better if you just get this flash off of your camera. A couple other things that I keep in the bag here. A wide angle lens. This is a prime lens, it's an 85 1.5 Cine lens. It just means it's a short telephoto lens, but it's not a zoom. And It's also nice to have a telephoto. This is a telephoto zoom. It's an 80 to 200 2.8 lens. It's real nice. I bring it with me sometimes when I'm shooting an event, a sports, or I'm doing like a sporting event, or I'm shooting portraits of someone and I want to get up close. That's a nice lens. Another thing that's nice to have along is a tripod. I don't use it all the time, but if you're taking pictures and you don't want to have to be holding the camera, you want to get consistent framing, this is really a good setup. There's a small disc that attaches to the bottom of my camera and it attaches to the top of the tripod. This particular tripod has a nice head where you can just squeeze this and move the head anywhere you want, let go. So going back into the bag, I'll just empty everything out here. Lenses. Flash. I have another flash. This is a small Canon camera, which I love. It's a Sony. Did I say Canon? It's a Sony. It has a really nice image sensor, and the pictures out of this camera are beautiful. What I really like about it is, whereas that's a big camera and it won't go with me everywhere, when I have this camera, I can just throw it in this little bag, this little holding pouch, and throw it in any bag or in a pocket or in my jacket, and I'll always have a camera with me. And it'll take a lot better pictures than my camera phone. So it's nice to have something that's higher quality than the camera phone, but not as bulky as that. I have a little tripod that I like to keep in the bag. It's really good for when you just want to set something up, you don't want the camera to move around. And I really do not use this for the DSLR. This is what I use if I'm shooting pictures with the iPhone or with a small camera, and I just want to keep it steady. It's they make a lot of different companies make little tripods, but I find it's a really useful tool. This is a diffuser. This diffuser here fits over the front of the flash. In a lot of situations, you want to diffuse, soften up the light coming out of the flash. And so this fits right over the top, and it's a nice accessory to have. These here are all transmitters and receivers. So when you're shooting with flash, you need to have a way for, and when the flash is not attached to the camera with a cable, you will need to have a way of triggering the flashes. So without getting into all the detail of that, you can buy the transmitters and receivers. These are available at camera stores or online. These are kind of nice because they all clip together. And while I used to use these a lot, I've stopped using them because this flash right here has a receiver built into it. So I don't need these for the bottom of this flash. All I need to do is put one of these in the camera's hot shoe right here, and it will trigger any flash like these that has a radio receiver built in. That's why I like these flashes. And I'll show you how it works. If this has a battery in it, which it does. All right, here's the flash. This will need a battery too. It has a battery in it. We're in luck. All right, put the camera on. And this should fire when I push the button. And it did. So that's really nice. And as you'll notice, that flash is not attached to that camera. So it makes your photography really easy when you don't want to have a cable dangling from the flash back to the camera and you want to put this on a light stand or just hold it in the hand and take some pictures. All right. To wrap this up, we have some batteries in here. I keep them in these little pouches. They're super handy because I always have rechargeable batteries. I don't buy Duracell or Eveready batteries anymore, Energizers, because I find that these are much more convenient. You can just put these into the flashes, and then when you get back home at the end of the day, you can just charge them up. So I keep plenty of them with me. And finally, in this pouch, I just have some stuff here. I like these Grid-Its. That's what this thing is. It holds everything. And what I have in here is a model release, which is a good thing to have. I just keep a bunch of them when you photograph people, and you want to make sure you have their permission in writing. You use one of these, you get them to sign it, giving you permission to use their photo in whatever ways you describe on the form, and then you keep a copy for yourself and give them a copy. This right here, I keep a multi-tool. They're super helpful. You know, you've got some pliers on here whenever you need to attach something or remove it and your hands aren't going to do the trick. It's good to have a tool like this. I like to have a little notebook. You know, there are a lot of times when people will give you some information, phone number, name, directions, and it's just too much work to get your phone out and type everything out. So always keep a notebook with you. Sharpies are great to have. I try to keep a Sharpie, at least one or two in the bag, along with regular pens. And the other stuff in here is business cards, always good to have around. Just keep a stack with you all the time, and when people ask you for your card, you always have it. This is a charger, really nice handy charger. This works for the iPhone, it'll work for your Android. It lets you know how much of a charge is left when you, I don't know if it's shaking it or whatever, but when you plug it in and attach your phone to it, it gives you a little signal, and that way you know how much charge is left. There you go. I like this too because it extends and it collapses, so you can get the phone as far away from the charger. If you want to do some iPhone video, you can keep the iPhone running off the battery and run it for a real long time, several hours, using this as your battery. I have a little iPhone cable release, which is real handy. You can take pictures using your iPhone. It's Bluetooth, so you just pair this with your iPhone and you can take pictures without having to actually hold the phone. Microfiber cloths. And here we've got a flashlight. It's always good to have one with you. You never know when you're going to be shooting pictures somewhere and it's dark and you need to find stuff in your bag. So I highly recommend having a flashlight. And then finally, this just holds a bunch of flash memory cards because it's always good to have them, and I keep like 4 of them, just extra, whatever's not in the camera, and that way you know that when you're on a photo shoot, if you fill up a card, you can just reach for this and you'll be all set. So hope that info is helpful. I hope you like seeing all this stuff. I'll make more videos and go into greater depth as far as how to use everything here, but I just thought for starters I would show you some of the gear and you know, how it packs up so small. The nice thing about packing light, and this really is light, is that you can fit everything you need into one case and go do your shoot. I mean, I have many more cases and sometimes I have to bring more gear, but whenever possible, it's nice to travel light because the less you have, the easier it is to set up and the easier it is to pack up and head out when you're done. So thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe. I make new videos and post them every Wednesday. Thanks a lot. Bye.